She said her battery died, said she couldn't call, but I was sitting in my truck, parked across the street, watching her walk into his apartment, smiling like I'd never made her smile in years. My name's Daniel. I'm 34. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm the guy people describe as solid. It's the kind of man who shows up on time, remembers birthdays, and knows how to grill a steak without Googling it. I work for a local HVAC company. Not glamorous, not corporate, but honest work that keeps the lights on and the fridge stocked. I've never been the flashy one. I drive a beat-up F-150 that rattles when I turn too hard. I wear the same boots every winter, and I use the same shaving cream my dad did. I like simple things: Waffle House coffee, Sunday football, and the feeling of warm laundry straight from the dryer. And then there was Harper. We met at a wedding, not ours, obviously someone else's. She was the maid of honor. Ow. I was seated alone at a table in the back near the bathroom. She spilled her wine on my lap when the DJ changed the song too fast. Most people would panic. She laughed. That kind of open, unfiltered laugh that makes everyone around you feel lighter. I was done for before the napkin hit my jeans. We started slow, late-night drives, inside jokes. Her leaving little notes in my lunchbox: don't microwave the salad this time. She was this blend of chaos and charm I didn't know I needed. 2 years later, she moved in. We split rent on a small apartment just outside the city, close enough to walk to our favorite Mexican place, far enough to feel like a little world of our own. We got a rescue dog, Dotus, half pit, half something bigger. He barked at everything but was terrified of cucumbers. Go figure. We had our routines: Friday night takeout, a Saturday morning laundry, Schitt's Creek reruns when life felt too heavy. I'd bring her coffee in bed when I left early for work. She'd text me a picture of Otis wearing something ridiculous. By noon, it felt good, normal, real. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. Not all at once, just little things. The way she stopped reaching for my hand on the couch, how she always had her phone on Do Not Disturb. Stopped laughing at my dumb impressions of her boss, which used to send her into fits of tears. I chalked it up to stress. She'd just started a new job marketing for some boutique agency. Late hours, lots of networking, new friends I didn't know. I told myself to trust her. I wanted to trust her. But then one night, she said she was going out with her coworkers. After work, just happy hour. Said she'd be home by 10. 10 came. Then midnight. Then to a .m, no call, no text. No sorry, lost track of time. When she finally came home at 2:45 in the morning, she looked startled, not drunk, not even guilty, just startled that I was still awake. She said her battery died. That's all. No details, no apology. Just my phone died. I wanted to believe her, but the next morning, I started watching. The thing about suspicion is it doesn't come with a warning label. It starts quiet, slow, like a low hum in the back of your head. But once you hear it, you can't unhear it. The morning after she came home late, something inside me just shifted. I didn't blow up, didn't accuse, didn't beg for an explanation. I just nodded, said, "Glad you're safe," and went to make coffee. But from that day on, I started watching. Her phone never left her side, not even to pee. That was new. She used to leave it charging in the kitchen overnight. I was face down on the nightstand, password changed. She said it was for work security. Acted like I believed her. She started wearing perfume on Tuesdays. Said it made her feel awake, but Tuesday used to be laundry day. She began going to networking dinners almost weekly. I'd offer to drive her, like I always used to. She started taking Ubers instead. Said parking downtown was a nightmare. And every time I asked who she went with, she'd say, "Just the usual crew." Except she never named them, never brought them up again. I convinced myself I was being paranoid. So I tried harder, bought flowers, cleaned the kitchen, took Otis for extra walks to give her space. She thanked me, kissed me on the cheek like a sister would, and spent the rest of the evening with AirPods in, watching TikToks I wasn't allowed to see. Then came the whispers. I caught them by accident once in the hallway, once through the bathroom door. Her voice was low, soft, different. It wasn't the tone she used for friends. It was private, intimate, the kind of voice she used to save for me. When I asked, she rolled her eyes. Seth from work, he's gay, Daniel? I've told you that. Nodded, even though I never once saw a picture of him, never once heard his name before that night, never once saw a text from him on her phone. Because by then, she'd turned off her message previews too. The gaslighting started soon after. She accused me of being distant, said I was acting cold, said I didn't laugh with her like I used to. She flipped it on me so fast, I started doubting my own gut. Maybe I was pulling away. Maybe I was seeing shadows in places they didn't exist until the night. I decided to follow her. She told me she was headed to a client dinner at some new wine bar downtown. I said, cool, be safe. Gave her a kiss on the forehead, but I didn't go home. I parked my truck across the street from the supposed wine bar, and I waited. She never showed up. 2 hours passed, then 3. Around 10:15, I got a text. Sorry, phone died again. Just now charging it. I'm on my way home. But I didn't reply because at 10:17, I saw her, walking out of an apartment. Complex hair down, jacket hoffen, with a man I'd never seen before. He kissed her on the cheek. She laughed, touched his arm, then got in her car and drove home. And that was the moment right there in my truck. Across from a building, I didn't recognize that everything inside me changed. I didn't sleep that night. She came in like nothing happened, quietly. Set her keys on the counter, kicked off her boots, and called out, sorry again about earlier. Wine bar had 0 service.
Al, want me to make you tea?
I said sure. I watched her move around the kitchen in my old hoodie, pouring hot water like. She hadn't just walked out of another man's apartment. I didn't confront her, not yet, because I needed more than just a gut feeling. I needed proof for me, so I wouldn't be gaslighted out of the truth again. I started keeping track, quietly, over. The next 2 weeks, I noted everything. Screenshots of her calendar invites that didn't match her locations, parking receipts she tossed in the trash that placed her nowhere near her supposed destinations, call logs from our shared phone bill with numbers labeled only unknown. She'd tell me she was headed to a work event, and I'd follow her car 10 minutes later twice. She parked outside the same building from before, same apartment, same guy. Once I even saw him come outside with 2 beers, hand her one, and pull her in by the waist like it was their tradition. I took a video. The final nail came from a favor I cashed in with an old buddy, Marcus, who used to be a security contractor. I gave him the guy's license plate. One background check later, I had a name, Ethan Jacobs, single, works in finance, lives alone, active on Instagram, his latest post. A picture of a candlelit dinner for 2. Caption, home feels warmer when you're around. Posted the same night Harper told me she had a late meeting and came home smelling like sandalwood and secrets. That was it. The anger didn't come in an explosion, came in cold, steady waves. I felt numb, hollow, like something in me had already died. Maybe it had. I didn't scream, didn't throw anything, didn't even cry. I planned first. I took the video clips, screenshots, texts, and background info and dropped them all in a folder titled, Since You Forgot. Then I printed one still image from the video, the one of him holding her waistband, tucked it into a card. On the front, I wrote in my neatest handwriting, thought this memory belonged to me. Then I waited. Harper had planned a small dinner at our place the following Friday, just a few close friends. She said she wanted to reconnect. We've both been so busy, she said. I agreed. Smiled. Even bought a bottle of wine the night. Came friends filled the apartment. Laughter, music, she beamed like the girl I used to know. Played the hostess, passed appetizers, poured drinks, then just before dessert, I stood up. I tapped my glass and said, hey, if I could get your attention for just a second. What's going? Surprised. What's going on? I looked around the room and said, I just want to thank everyone for being here tonight. It means a lot. Then I reached into my back pocket and pulled out the envelope. And Harper, I said, handing it to her, I made you something. She opened it. In front of everyone, pulled out the picture. I watched her eyes widen, the blood drain from her face. The room went silent. I leaned in close and whispered, just loud enough for the room to hear, "Ethan says hi." I walked out before she could say a word. Left her standing there, holding her own betrayal in her hands, in front of the people she thought she'd fooled. Didn't go home that night. I had already packed a duffel bag the day before. Threw in the essentials: jeans, shirts, my shaving kit, a framed photo of Otis, and the one mug I couldn't leave behind. The one she got me our first Christmas together. It said, "World's okayest boyfriend." I never found it funny, but now it felt like the most honest thing in our apartment. I crashed on Marcus's couch for a few nights. Otis curled up next to me like he knew something had broken, but didn't have the words. Dogs always know. Harper didn't call that night. Or the next, but on day 3, she sent a text. "Can we talk?" I didn't reply. An hour later, another one. "Please, I didn't mean for it to happen this way." And finally, "I miss you." That one stung, because it sounded so easy for her to say. Like all it took to undo what she did was a few words and a sad emoji she didn't send. I started therapy the following week, not because I thought I was broken, but because I didn't want to become bitter. I didn't want to walk around with resentment stuck to my ribs. I wanted to understand how I let it get this far, how I ignored my gut for so long, how love had made me blind and fear had kept me quiet. The therapist asked me something I'll never forget. "Were you afraid of losing her, or afraid of being alone?" I didn't have an answer. Not that day. Harper tried reaching out, few more times. Handwritten letters showed up at Marcus's place. She said she was sorry, said it wasn't serious with Ethan, said it was confusing, and that she was struggling emotionally. I almost laughed. Struggling. While I was walking Otis past the apartment she snuck into like a teenager. Her friends unfollowed me. One of them so fisted me a DM, said I shouldn't have embarrassed Harper like that in front of everyone. Said I was vindictive. I screenshotted it, didn't reply. 2 days later, Sophie liked one of Ethan's beach photos. Figures, but not everyone ghosted. 2 of Harper's friends, Emily and Jordan, texted me separately. Said they knew something was off for months. Said they were sorry. Said I deserved better. One of them even offered to help me move the last of my stuff when Harper wasn't home. I took them up on it. The final time I saw her was 3 weeks after. The dinner? I came back during her work hours to grab the rest of my things. She showed up early. Walked in midway through me, packing the last box. She just stood there in the doorway, arms crossed like she wanted to fight but didn't have the strength. Her voice cracked. "So that's it?" I turned around, looked her in the eye and said, "No, that was it. The moment you walked into his building." She started crying. Said she never wanted it to end like this. Said she still loved me. I nodded. Then I picked up the box, stepped around her, and left the key on the table. Didn't look back. A week later, Ethan messaged me on Instagram. I didn't even know he knew my account. All he said was, "Didn't know she was taken. She told me you were just roommates." I stared at the message for a long time, then replied, "Good luck. Hope your battery doesn't die." He left me on read. It's been 8 months. The air feels different now. Lighter. Not because I'm over it. I don't think you'll ever fully get over being betrayed by the person you made coffee for every morning. But because I'm not carrying her silence anymore, I moved into a 1-bedroom rental on the other side of town. It's smaller, quieter, mine. Otis still scratches at the door when I leave, still chews through socks when I forget to pick them up. But at night, when it's just me and him and the hum of the fridge, there's a peace I didn't realize I'd been starving for. I started running again, not to get fit, just to feel like I'm moving. I go to therapy every other Thursday, even when I think I don't need it. Stopped checking her socials around month 4. Stopped wondering if she ever looks at mine. She probably does. But I hope if she does, she sees the quiet in my face. Not revenge. Right. Just the man I was before she broke him. I haven't dated anyone since. It's not fear, it's not bitterness. It's just that I'm not in a rush to give away peace for potential again. I think the hardest part wasn't losing her, was realizing I'd lost myself while loving her, piece by piece. Every time I said it's fine, when it wasn't. Every time I chose silence over truth, just to avoid another fight. Every time I let my gut scream alone in the dark. I used to think love was about sacrifice. Now, I think it's about safety, about showing up every day, not just in words, but in patterns, in consistency, in presence. People say revenge is a dish best served cold, but I disagree. Revenge is walking away without needing to explain yourself. Revenge is letting them sit with their choices alone. While you rebuild something stronger without them in it. She said her battery died, so her honesty did, and I watched both go dark. If you enjoyed my story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life stories like this.